Good morning, everybody. It's 9 o'clock and we are live. You're watching Carnation Crafts TV. Great to have your company. I'm Dave Bradford and we are here at the launch of a brand new, really exciting collection. What a wonderful world, eh, Carla?
It is.
It is.
I've been singing that to you all morning.
You have? Yeah, I've been Satchmo. Now, this is groundbreaking. I've never seen a card like it. I've never seen a card collection like it. To say that this has been popular already since a little sneak peek on Facebook yesterday, half the stock is gone. Half the stock gone just by giving you a little sneak peek on Facebook yesterday evening. So the chances are this is going to sell out early. The whole premise behind this is that you've got animation, you've got movement, you've got characters, you've got elements that literally travel within that little window on the front there. It's like you've got a theatre in your hands. It really is absolutely brilliant. And to say that the value for money is off the charts is the understatement of the day, because I don't know, I normally expect to pay for a brand new collection £100, £120. Not today. You're going to get everything that you can see on the top row here. This is the entire collection. You've got the mechanism to make your life in motion, which works portrait and landscape. So you can have things going down and across, up and down. This one is a portrait one. So you can see that wonderful scene in the center there of the card. But look, pull the tag. It can go up, it can go from side to side as well. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, everything you need to make the mechanism is included in the main die set just here, and all the decorative panels are in there as well, so it's absolutely superb. And Carla will show you in the first show and the third show how to put that mechanism together, and then how to embellish it and decorate it. We'll do that in the second show. But you've got all the elements here that can be moving. You've got the car that can be moving. You've got the steam train that can be moving. You've got the bus. I was obsessed with buses when I was a kid. I wanted to be a bus driver. You've got the planes, you've got the bikes, you've got the dogs. They could be chasing the cat, or the cat could be chasing the dog. That's a turn up for the books. You can do really whatever you want to with this, but it's great for everyone. It's great for the youngsters for their birthday cards. It's great for maybe the fellas in your life who are really tricky to make cards for, always being told that. Great for the ladies too, of course, as well. But the whole thing is brand new today. You can't get this anywhere else at the moment. It's exclusive to us at Carnation Crafts TV. And if you want it, it's $71.99, down from $109.96. And you've got all these elements here. This is the heart of it. This is the crux of it. This is what will give you that animation and that movement. And then you've got all the other elements that you can play with. Now, as ever, the vignettes, or that's the posh word for artwork at Carnation, all of that is on the website right now, carnationcrafts.co.uk, which you can print off right now and enjoy right now. There's double-sided vignettes front and back, so you can have the bikes going left, you can have the bikes going right, you can have the cat going left, the cat going right. It's all there free of charge to print off right now, and it's just $71.99 for the dies. And you know how good Carnation are at getting your orders out. You place it today, it's picked and packed within moments of you placing your order. Some people even get it the very next day, so that could be you. If you want it, it's on ClearPay, it's on PayPal Pay in 3 if you want to spread the cost, and of course it is free UK P&P because you're spending over £50. And just a quick heads up, if you do want the perfect papers, because the guys at Carnation look at the artwork and look at the colours that have been used in the artwork, and then they hand pick beautiful papers and cardstock. It's 300 GSM, so it's not paper, it's card. 48 sheets, but in colorways and in patterns that are going to really complement your main collection, okay? Add that to your order. It's only $14.99, and that will be delivered free in P&P as well if you're ordering the main collection. And it's 230707 if you'd like your perfect papers to go with the collection. If you want the main die collection, though, I've got to really stress, at 9:05, over half the stock's gone. Get it today, have fun with it, play with it. It's nice to have a card that does something rather than just look pretty. Looking pretty is fantastic, but when it actually moves as well, it's superb. So the main collection, 230701, $71.99. That is the best price, remember. And yeah, there's no code, is there? No discount code.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a discount code. Okay, make sure you use the discount code. We'll pop it on the screen for you. There it is. That means that you'll get that $71.99 price. CCWW10. CCWW10, 10% off. Everyone gets that if you use that code at the checkout, the promo code, okay? Now also, but quickly, before we go on and Carla shows you the boards and everything else, there's one other die which I know lots of you have ordered alongside this that will work beautifully well. Now this is the Skyline card shape. It's a separate item. You can buy it on its own, buy it with the main collection, and you can use it in conjunction with that. I'll just show you this card here, and this kind of shows you the sort of thing that you can create. Firstly, when I first saw the big Skyline, it made me think New York City. Then I saw the second skyline, it made me think San Francisco. And then I saw the third skyline and I thought my road. So you've got a little bit of all sorts of different kind of characterful buildings here that you can make into three-dimensional scenes. So basically you've got the large die, which will give you the big skyscrapers, the medium die that will give you the kind of medium-sized houses like San Fran, and then the smaller die that gives you the kind of street houses that we're used to. All of those together with the clouds as well. If you want that on its own, it's 27, look at this price, $27.99. So affordable, and it's 230706. Now, if you wanted to go for the main collection, the skyline, and the perfect papers, 114.88. I know. Sharp take a breath from Taz in the corner. And Kat.
It's such
and
a
Carla
good price.
Yeah, it's a great price for everything. And you can then use this in conjunction with the main Life in Motion dies as well. 114.99. PayPal Pay in 3 would be 38.29 over 3 payments, and if you want a clear pay, that would be 28.72 over 4 payments. Carla, my love, good to be back with you. It's been a long time.
I know. So we're back on home turf, and I've got my Tiz Taz and I've got my Mr. Davey B, and the world is right again. So we've got the just wonderful worlds and awesome collection. But before I go to boards, sorry, Miss Taz, just to destroy your very good camera work. Just a little message from Carnation this morning, which was to say that because there was such a stampede on the website last night, it did the glitch again where it duplicates the order. Mark has been on it like a very busy squirrel, and he has basically emailed everybody and refunded if anything did happen. If you think that might have happened, please do check, and if you think it might have, please instantly email Carnation at customerservices@carnationcrafts.co.uk, and they will sort it immediately. It's just sometimes it glitches. It uses a system called WordPress for the internet, and sometimes it can have little moments. Carnation are working on changing all of that, but at the minute it is what it is, and so if it has happened, please contact customer services at carnationcrafts.co.uk. They will rectify everything instantly. They think they've caught them all anyway, but just in case. So the boards for Wonderful World. It is just ace, this collection. And we are going to do a long line demo of how to make this card shape this morning. So you'll have to forgive me for the time that takes. However, once you've got this in your collection, you are going to be able to make the most gorgeous cards forever. So it's worth the long line demo. You've got so many elements in this, and it's a beautiful kinetic card shape. So you've got all of your stunning filigree, which sits on here. All of these are dies. You've got little dies for your sentiments here, the little moon to create those gorgeous little sort of scenes where you can have your moonlight in your street scene. Beautiful corners. I love these so much. I've fallen head over heels with these. They work so wonderfully, but not just for this card shape. They also work for any card shape that you make for any collection for Carnation. You've got tabs to strengthen where you put your elements, and I'll show you that as we get into demo. You've got this. What is this? This is an interesting little die, isn't it? Well, it's because one of the vignettes that you've got has got grass on it. And when you cut this, it gives you like a rolling hill on the grass, which is really beautiful. You're getting so much in this collection. It's unreal. I couldn't believe the price when I saw it this morning. No wonder it has just flown. It's awesome. What does this make? It makes this here business.
It makes movement. That's what it makes.
Don't talk about movement, Dave.
Oh, sorry.
It takes this and it goes in and it comes back out again, and it's absolutely incredible. And you're going to have this in your hand, and you're going to be able to make this yourself as of possibly tomorrow if you've already purchased it.
Can
I
I
think
just
that's insane.
quickly interrupt just to let you know the vignettes will be available for you to print off tomorrow, okay? The reason that they're doing that is because obviously on a launch like this, and we haven't had as many shows recently on Carnation TV as we'd have liked, so there's a massive surge and massive demand for this. So rather than people getting caught up on the website, maybe being a bit slow or whatever, the vignettes won't be released until tomorrow, so you can print those off tomorrow. So don't go searching for them today, they will be there tomorrow, absolutely free of charge for you to print off. It just makes the whole ordering process that much smoother, I suppose.
It's just because of the servers.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to download something, you know yourself, if you're trying to download something onto your computer, it just takes a while. So if you think of, you know, 800 people trying to download the vignettes at the same time, basically what happens is you cause a stutter, not you personally, but you cause a stutter on the server. And because of that, it makes it more difficult for people who actually want to buy the collection. So Carnation have taken the decision to just release the vignettes on the day that you would receive the dies anyway. You can't get the dies before Tuesday, whichever way you look at it. So it makes sense. Now we go on with, look at this. I'm so in love with the bus.
I still want to be a bus driver. Can you see me driving a bus? You know what I'm like driving?
Who was the one on the Carry On films who was the conductor on the bus? That would be more you.
Would it?
He didn't have a tash. What am I getting mixed up with? He had a little tash.
I think of myself as a Charles Hawtrey sort of character, really.
Then you've got your gorgeous hot air balloon here. This car comes in different colourways. You get a red, a yellow and a green. And all I can think of is the 1980s advert for the Milky Way. The red car and the blue car had a race. And then you've got your motorbike here. Can you remember? I've been singing it for a week since I started this. Look, Miss Taz is nodding. All right.
You sang it to me before we even were doing it.
The red car and the blue car had a race. On the buses, that's correct. On the buses, Mary Cook, you are absolutely correct. This train is beautiful. As somebody, Butler, there you go. As somebody who worked on the railway for many, many years, this really sings to me. I love it so much. And yeah, the railways. Oh yeah, I worked for the railways for years before I started crafting.
Driving them or?
No. I was a safety officer.
A safety officer.
I was a safety officer for the railway, and so just making sure they had the right amount of lookouts and all the different things. So this is really beautiful. And then we've got the gorgeous aeroplane as well. All this from the same collection. It's huge. This park bench, which I love so much, it's very evocative of many things. And for those of us who've had kind of memorial benches and stuff, isn't that a really beautiful piece? We've got the cat, we've got the dog, we've got the frisbee and the tennis ball. His face is so gorgeous, isn't it? He's so excited. And then we've got your beautiful tree lines here. I love these bushes as well. These are going to become your best friend. You'll see as I go through the demos. I mentioned it yesterday. It's just an absolute boon to have. All the collections that you've got with Carnation, you'll be able to use bits from this for it. It's just incredible. And finally, we have got your gorgeous cyclists. I love these. And lots of you have been asking for cyclists, and they did not fail to provide. So you've got the male one who's on sort of a racer bike, even with the water bottle. Like, they just get things right. And then you've got this one here, which is obviously more feminine. And you've got the little basket of flowers here. And I've got to tell you, she looks very much like the lovely, lovely Jazz who works for Carnation. So she does look, doesn't she? She does, actually. Yeah, she looks so much like Jazz. So big shout out to Jazz this morning. That is your Wonderful World collection. It is incredible. Of course, it's incredible. We do have the extra, we'll call it an upsell, which is the extra die. And I'm going to show you the boards for it because it's important. It's a lovely die. And it goes with this collection in the most beautiful way. And I showed it on the Facebook Live yesterday, but until you actually start making with it, you don't quite realise the power of it. Can you, have you got the die? It's here.
Yeah.
When we're looking at the die for this, you can see it here. Obviously, there's the picture of it. But when we start looking at the metal, if I just go into here, can you see how I can pull this house just from here and just push? So remember, we're always moving the card, not the die. So that's one die. There's another then die here, and then there's the third die. Okay, now what that means is we cut them separately. So this one obviously is the vignette for that piece, and then the next one is the vignette for that piece, and this big one is the vignette for the biggest piece. Now what that actually means then is when you look at the vignettes very carefully, for those sharp-eyed ones out there who have already noticed this, see your cut lines here?
Yep.
This doesn't have them.
Oh.
Cut lines here. This doesn't have them. This has cut lines all the way because they're designed to work in front of each other.
Yeah.
And you've got tabs at the side and they glue together and you create the most awesome Z fold card.
Oh, wow.
Which is just absolutely incredible. Now, the reason this works so well, and one of the main reasons this works so well, is because Carnation have got mirrored vignettes, and that means we've got something on the back and on the front of them. So when I go to close this card and I shut this up, you still see the image. You've got something else, another word, the red car and the blue car erased, the green car. And so you can see how we then change all of these things around. And I think that is the most extraordinary concept. Just awesome, right?
Can I just say, personally, and I know Carla and Taz agree with this as well, it's been a bit of a monumental month for Carnation Crafts. We actually launched on our new preferred TV channel partner, Hobbymaker, a few weeks ago, and Carla and I have been working there, and it's gone incredibly well. So if you're wondering where we are when we're not doing our own channel, that's where we are going forward. Just thought we'd let you know about that, and everybody's super duper happy, which is good. And if you're watching us there, thank you very much. Now, sorry.
Been crazy,
It's been
Dave.
crazy busy, but great fun. Now, all of you get in touch on Facebook today. Good morning. Wow, what a collection from Linda McLeod. Tracy Moore says, morning, Carla, Dave and Taz. Whoop, whoop. Another stunner. Morning all. Sat here with my plastic sandwich bags at the ready. Plastic sandwich bags.
I'll explain.
Oh, okay. Morning everybody, looking forward to this today. Ordered some individual dies last night, can't wait. Carla's demos are always inspirational for us Carnation Army. Morning all, Helen Myers. The vignettes will be available tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier on. Ordered the collection yesterday, Eileen says, and she said, oh, I'm gutted, I forgot to order the building die. Well, it is still available, you still can get it. If you missed it yesterday, didn't realise it was available, there it is. $27.99 for those 3 dies, and it's 230706. Hello to Jane Lightos as well, and Kate Scobie. Morning from Gould, Kate says. Lots of you coming through. I just want to quickly show you a few more of these finished samples. Sue Dalrymple's done this, because this is what makes this collection so amazing. The animation. The fact that you've got these wonderful scenes that you can create with things that are appropriate, whether someone's just got a brand new car, someone's bought a new house. We've got, I don't think an advisable race would be a good idea here, Pam, for the motorbike and the cyclist, but you see what I mean? You create the animation, isn't it great?
So clever, isn't it?
It's so cool, so clever. And here, the dog in the car. I love the expression on the dog's face, like you said, Carla. It's absolutely, you can't beat it. Vera Bowe's done this one. How cool is that?
Huge shout out to the DT team.
Oh, amazing.
What a crazy, awesome bunch of people you are.
The DT team never know what's around the corner. And of course, although we're talking about the animation with that kind of letterbox style, Barbara's done this, so you can use all the elements completely independently in a more traditional card style, obviously. They're just gorgeous. And by the way, also, if you love the florals that you can see on some of these as well, I've got some good news for you. You can still get these floral dies on the website. What were they called again, Carla, the florals?
Lots of Love. It's from the Lots of Love. Listen, this is cool. So, for those of you who own the Lots of Love collection, which is a beautiful collection from a year ago, something. It's got loads of florals in it, beautiful florals, really big bloom florals. And so what Carnation have done, we're not particularly selling that today, although you'll find it over on the website, but Carnation have recoloured it. And you know sometimes we bring out special edition vignettes where they've been recoloured. They're giving you it for free. That recolouring, they're giving you it for free to go with this collection. I mean, when we say Carnation, give it as much as they can. It's insane. I'm so proud of them. You're getting your recoloured vignettes for free for your Lots of Love. So not only did you have the stunning original vignettes for it, you've now got an extra colourway, not just for this collection. You'll be able to use them all over the shop.
Absolutely. I just want to show you this one. This is a beautiful easel card that's been done by Vera again. Again, using all the elements in a totally different way. There's the 3 different levels of skyline. I mean, that could be Singapore, it could be New York, it could be London, it could be anywhere in the world really that you want it to be. And then we've got the steam train down the front there as well. So you can be very, very artistic and very imaginative how you use all these elements in this collection today. And just to remind you, if you wanted to go for all of it, the main collection with the skyline and also the perfect papers, so you're absolutely sorted. It comes to a maximum of $114.88, and PayPal Pay in 3 is there, and also of course ClearPay is available for you as well. But if you just want to cherry pick certain things, that's fine as well. Just go to carnationcrafts.co.uk. But I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, how on earth do we put that mechanism together? Is it easy to do?
It is easy to do. Good. Rona Fidgin has said, loving the collection. The price on the screen is different to the site. Why? It's because you need to use a code at checkout, and you need to use all capitals, and that's CCWW10. So Charlie, Charlie, Whiskey. Oh, I can't do the words. Charlie, Whiskey 10. CCWW10 at checkout, all in capitals, and that will reduce the price from the 70, yeah, whichever the original was, down to $71.99. And that's across everything that's to do with this collection. So you'll be able to get that discount there. So it'll work across the board for this collection, not the whole website. I hope that helps. So this card base, Dave, you may as well take a seat, kid. We're going to be here for a while.
I will.
So this card base, it's really easy to make, but there's steps to it. And I'm going to take it really slowly, especially this one. And then I'll do it again in the third show today. It means you're going to get less in the sense of normal demos, which is why I'm keeping show 2 to just standard demos. So you still get to see everything coming together. But I want you to be able to work with this the minute you get it home. So I'm going to take it in stages. We'll go slowly. We'll work through it together so you can work it out. I said to you yesterday, there's one thing you'll need from home in order to make this that we will not be providing you with. And that is a piece of plastic, a carrier bag, little sandwich bags. I've used these, which are my demo bags, and I just cut them up. And you need to cut strips that are no bigger, in fact, just slightly lower than 1 inch. So mine are just somewhere between 3/4 of an inch and an inch. It's very, very, you know, thin, narrow, okay? And that's all you're going to need from home, but you will need it in order to complete them. We've all got bits of those. And actually, isn't it a nice way to recycle? If you're going to use a carrier bag and you would try to use, I'm going to use the shop name here, which we're not allowed to use, Waitrose, have really thick carrier bags, they won't work. You need the old school ones.
That explains why Diane Toddington said, I'm sat here with my plastic sandwich bags. I was wondering what that was all about.
We've got Sharon Curtis in the house.
Hello,
Good
Sharon.
morning, beautiful. Right, so when you're cutting this is what you're going to be cutting in order to make it work. If I take this so I can show you the metal as we're going. On my desk here, I have got 2 archway shapes. Now, I have already put the mats and layers on there just to strengthen it. My advice, make sure you strengthen it. Use 350 GSM cardstock in order to make it as strong as it can be. On top of that, I've got my 2 base dies here, and you can see these little window shapes that are sitting in the middle. You need 2 of those. Then you need 1 of these. Those 5 pieces are what's going to create this card shape along with 2 of those strips. So if you want to, just pause the screen when you're watching these back to be able to go, what is it that I need to make it? This is exactly it, okay?
What brain comes up with this?
I know, right?
It's amazing.
As far as your dies are concerned, when you're looking at that in real terms, it's this. That's your archways.
Yep.
It's 2 of these. It's 1 of this.
Okay.
Don't worry about the rest. Have a go at making it first, and then we can get into the idea of decorating them, using filigree, using colour. This is where we're going with it. Now, you've got 2 of these, and this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to move my archways for a second, and I'm going to use just move my midpoint, my centre point, and I'm going to work with these 2 here. Okay, so you've got pip marks all the way around these, and they are extremely forgiving. And on one of them, just one, I'm just going to, let me just grab this so I don't, because I don't want to tear it on air. I'm just going to release a pip, and then you can literally just go in and pull them. Now, I'm going to say, if you're doing this at home in order to make a card, do it with a scalpel just so you don't get the pip marks showing. I'm just doing it on air, so they are very forgiving. They do just pull away. That's 1 done. Now, I'm leaving it at that. Now, you can see where my pip marks are. Do it with a scalpel at home, or just go in with a pair of scissors and just snip them away for neatness and tidiness. Like I say, I'm not worried because I'm just demoing the actual way of pulling it together. So that's that first one done, and that's my base, right? Base, top. Bottom of the card, top of the card. Leave them alone at that point. Then take this one here. This is your center panel. And this one, I'm also going to remove that. For any of you at home thinking, why did Nick bother leaving the center point in? If we're just going to take it out, why is it there? Well, because there's other cards to make with this whole collection than the one I'm showing you now. You can do box cards. You might not want to have a window in your middle layer, so you might not want that to be there. You might just want it to have that so it's closer to. So if you're making a box card, if you think of it in terms of dimension, how deep do you want it? You've got the box, that will give you a central row, and you can bring that forward. So
Right.
there's different ways of playing with it. There is method to his madness. There always, always is.
Well, it just allows you to put your own twist on it as well, doesn't it, really?
It just gives us lots of different ways to play. So somebody has just said, Nick's brain, say thank you to him. We absolutely will. We're not going to say it too much because, you know, we don't want him thinking But well, he already knows.
He knows. He knows. I got shown this actually when we all went up to HQ a couple of months ago now. Got shown this. I couldn't believe it when I saw it then. I still can't believe it seeing it now. It's so clever.
It's incredible. So these tabs, I've put red liner tape on. You can use wet glue. I find it easier to use red liner, especially for demo, because I need to be quicker with it. But obviously, whenever you're using red liner tape, the ability to get yourself in a pickle is always quite huge. Now, on this mid-section piece, where I've got the red liner tape, just on the edge here, can you see that we have got little tabs that sit? They're integral. Do not cut them off. So I'm going to just take them and I'm going to fold it on that score line. Please don't cut those off.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just say to Deborah Evans, who's got a query about a £25 voucher she wanted to redeem, could I get you to contact customer services? Just contact on the email customerservices@carnationcrafts.co.uk. I can't answer your question, I don't know about that, but if you contact them, they'll be able to sort that out for you, I'm sure.
Right, so now I've got my tabs that are now folded inwards. So now this is what this center point looks like. If this demonstration is frustrating for any of you because it's going slow, I don't apologise for that. There's going to come a point when somebody needs this kind of in slow motion. I'm taking it slowly for that reason. I've got these two here, so these are my pieces. They're going to wrap around that piece, which is why you can't cut it more than an inch. If you are doing that and it's bigger than that space, it won't work. Right. It'll get trapped. It's really important that they fit nicely in there. It doesn't have to be as big. You can see mine smaller, but it can't be any bigger. So then we're going to take this box here, and all I'm going to do is fold on my score lines on both sides. You can score that because obviously dies can only score with so much depth. You can use a scoring tool just to sharpen those score lines for you and make your life easier.
And you said 350 GSM for the card, yeah?
Always.
Always, okay.
Now, you've got 3 tabs on either side of here, and that is where we're going to be tucking these tabs into. Not going to lie, it can be fiddly. So what we're going to do is just take a ball tool, poke it through, and just run it along. It's just going to loosen up those edges. The first one goes in like a treat, but obviously, as with all card shapes, when they're kinetic, the last one you put in just takes a bit of wiggling and a jiggling. I like to make my life as easy as I possibly can, and so I'm just going to widen those gaps for myself with my pokey just to give myself a bit more of a fighting chance. Now, these obviously need to be folded. They sometimes go in better when they're not folded to start with, but I like to just make that line and then straighten them out. Jane Foster, does this card stand to go on a mantelpiece, or does it need to be backed onto another opening card? Well, it will stand, but if it overbalances, it's going to fall over. But the best thing that you can do is add a stand. Can I just borrow that, Dave? Add a stand to the back of it, something like that, or just put another piece of cardstock, score it, sorry Taz, score it at 1/2 inch and place it on the back, and it will just stand perfectly. That's just going to make sure, Jane, that nothing happens.
Treat it like a picture frame. You know, you wouldn't necessarily stand a picture frame up without a little stand at the back, so treat it like that and it'll be absolutely fine.
So now that we've got those folded upright, I'm going to pull them down and fold them flat, and I'm going to work with the first piece first. So this is my bottom. Remember, we cut the top out of this one, so we're working with the one that we haven't taken the center piece out of, and I'm just going to tuck these in. So they go in pretty easy. Just bear with, not easy when I colour. Put your glasses on so you can see, love. Right.
I've just been told there are hundreds of you watching us on Facebook right now, so if you've just tuned in, a very, very warm welcome. We've got 3 shows today. This one, 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock this afternoon, so tune in for all of them. The second one will be more about decoration, and then the third one will be recapping the construction side of it. So, easy done. We've just put these tabs in to this point, okay? And you can see I've got my red liner sitting. Now, the first thing I'm going to do as I pull these tabs through is kind of push them down so that they don't somehow negate themselves back into the inside of the card, because that's just going to get me cross. So I'm just going to take this off. Well, Jane says actually she's got the stand from Sheer Delight, so she's sorted. Yeah, oh, that's cool. Yeah, there you go. Good. Well done. Excellent. I tell you what would look amazing with the skyline card shape while I'm just getting this off, and with my ponderings and my musings. See if you were to use the scissor mechanism from Ready for Christmas and put those houses on separate points. Wouldn't that be beautiful? I hope you got that collection. That's my favourite of the year so far. And I think this is like a close second. It really is. Yeah, great idea to use that scissor mechanism.
Right, so just pulling these through. So you can see this is like your only fiddly point, essentially. And it's not fiddly, it's just when you're trying to do it on telly. Always a joy when you're trying to do the telly box business. So that has got that sitting where it needs to be. And then I can just push that. Now I've got to work with, Linda says, what weight of card are you using, please? I always work with 350,
350, Linda.
You don't have to. You can choose your own card weight. It depends what you like to work with. If you work with a lighter cardstock, if you go in at a 220, you're probably going to find it easier to maneuver, because obviously I'm using a strong cardstock, so it takes a bit more work. But for me, it's worth the extra just to have that strength on that dimension. It's got to be a personal thing for you, but that's my advice. Right. I'm going to go in with Pearl. Why does it say 6666 on the website? I have no idea, Pearl. They are having some technicals with the website, but they will go and look. So I've got this at the minute. I just cut a full plastic bag, so it's still in a round at this point. So all I'm going to do is just cut a little bit off it. Now I have got pin flare all over my hands, which isn't helping. So I'm just going to cut that away so that I've got it now as one long strip of plastic, and nothing difficult in that. Okay. And I'm going to open this up so that I can work with it better. And I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing on that white mat. I might be better moving it on to the main desk. Make sure those tabs are tucked right in. Please don't cut them off. So we're going to bring this around, and I'm going to lay that down just to there. And what I'm going to do is just put a pair of scissors on it just to keep it exactly flat where it is. Then, oh, I need those scissors. Do you know, I worry about myself sometimes. There, put that there.
I constantly worry about it.
I think everybody does. It's hard when your brain doesn't work. So then, can you see where that edge is? I don't know how well you can see it on camera because it's obviously transparent. Little bit of the red liners, okay? Nothing much. And then what I'm going to do is just take this and get that off if I can. Hold on, there we go. Everything's so hot in here as well. It's all melting to itself.
Including us.
Including us. I made Dave leave the studio and take his t-shirt off before the show. Not in like a weird way, but in a he was about to pass out way. I was like, Dave, go and take your clothes off.
I had a holiday a couple of weeks ago, and it was like 35 degrees. I swear it's hotter in here today than it was in 35-degree heat.
It's the first time you've had a lady tell you to take your clothes off in a while, Dave.
This is true. This is very true.
Also, it's the first time I've ever been called a lady. Right, I'm just going to put that there. So I've got it. So that's now in a round. Okay. And it's all stuck together. Now that I've got that, honestly, pin flare and plastic, I'm just going to move this down to that edge.
So it's like a conveyor belt now, isn't it?
It's like a conveyor belt. You can start to see where we're going with this, where that movement is going to take place, that slip slide that this is going to allow. Now I've got to do the same at the other side, and I understand that this can be frustrating to watch because it's a slow demo, and normally I try and demo reasonably fast. I apologise to you all in as much as that I understand it can be frustrating, but I just want you to know exactly what to do.
But it's important you know exactly how it works. You know, if you rush through it and you miss some bits, then that wouldn't be good. Eileen in Liverpool, excuse me, says, hi Dave and Carla, I've been looking forward to this show. Ordered mine last night, can't wait to download the artwork. That'll be tomorrow. Okay, Eileen, just saying hi, she says. And Jacqueline Ward says, I'm obsessed with the new 3D scissor mechanism.
Amazing.
I love it. It is great, isn't it?
Can I just, I've got YouTube here as well, and I'm not ignoring you on YouTube. Can I just say, what if my printer won't do more than 200 GSM? That's Terry. You don't need to print on more than 200 GSM. This is just your smooth cardstock for your card bases. If you want to print onto your Pro Print, just use a 170 for your thicker stuff. That'll be fine. If you're using a mirrored vignette, be 120 GSM anyway.
And then layer it on 350.
But those are going to go on here. But you don't need to print on. I think with Carnation there would never be a reason to print on anything higher than a 220. Right. So this isn't printed, this is obviously just a piece of cardstock. So I'm doing exactly the same process again, and I'm just going to put this onto thither, make sure it's adhered.
And these and these plastic bags are basically sandwich bags, yeah?
Mine's just a sandwich bag. Anything you need. I do apologise for my red light. It's warm in here and the adhesives change. You'll know this from home. If you try and work with adhesive under different temperature controls, adhesive is reactive to temperature, and so it does change the way that it works a little bit. So same thing again.
Yeah.
Just pushing that onto there.
And that red liner tape's making sure it goes nowhere.
So what I've got here is a piece of glue at that side and a piece of glue at that side. I'm going to push this one this way. You don't have to, but I'm going to. It makes things a little bit easier. So now I'm just going to let you have a little bit of a screenshot so you can see where that is, because obviously you're going to want to come back and make this. Glue, glue. I'm going to go back in with the red liner tape. Ignore this side of the card for a second. I'm going to work on this side, all right?
Yeah.
Sorry if this is all... I'm going to stop apologising.
No,
but I'm
enjoying
hoping...
finding out how it works. 'Cause
I'm
when I saw it, I couldn't work it out.
Well, I'm just hoping you can come back and see it step by step.
And remember, decoration is going to be in the second show. That'll be at 11 o'clock.
We might get a chance to decorate, we'll see.
Okay.
So where this piece of glue is here, I'm just putting another piece of Joyous red liner tape there. Now, I'm going to put a piece here on this piece of plastic. See my glue's over here? I'm putting a piece here to match in where this one comes. On the plastic, never on the card stock. It won't work if it's on the card stock, all right? So that's that. Margaret Samuel, will this card lie flat for posting? Yeah, they kind of just fold down, but it's going to be thicker than your average card.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. Right,
Maybe
that's
a
got
jiffy
this
bag would
here.
be a good idea.
Jiffy bag.
Yeah, for postage. Protect it a bit.
Right, I'm taking this off. So now I've got two sticky points on this side of my card.
I'll tell you what, if you are sending it to a friend or a relative or something, they're going to be amazed that you've made this. They won't have a clue how you've done it.
The thing is, I will say as well, I've been making these all week. It's so much quick. Once you've made it, one of them, it's so quick.
Yeah.
It looks complex, right? But it's not. It's just once you've got to make one. It's the same with the scissor mechanism. Once you've made one, you're like, got it. But you've got to get to that point. Now, I'm bringing in an archway. Remember, I've got my two sticking points here, and I'm bringing in an arch. And I'm going to measure that up to the edge of this card. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to place this here. I think what I'll do is just close that up first.
I think Taz has just had a eureka moment.
Has
She goes,
it just
get
hit?
it.
So what I need are these legs to stick, but I'm going to hold them with my paw, mark it up to the edge of the card, just here.
Shelley's asking, does the plastic have to be a certain length?
No, well, it has to be as long as it can be to wrap around there.
Yeah.
So long as it's long enough to wrap around, it doesn't matter.
So at least twice as long as the frame, basically.
So my first one is on, and when I lift that, you can see that it's only stuck at one end.
Yeah.
All right, now I've got to put the other side on. So what I'm going to do is flip that over, turn it, and I've got my plastic here, okay, from the other side. I've got to work out where my legs are, my feet from that archway. Now, I know that my feet, my legs, are at this side because I can raise that. I need to go in the opposite direction. So now I'm going to put my glue at this side, okay?
Yeah.
Because I need my feet to be at this end this time.
Makes sense.
They've got to be in the opposite direction. So we're going to take a bit more of this. I'm going to stick that down, make sure it's all where it needs to be.
I'm just thinking of like the design process for this. Where would you start? A blank sheet of paper, trying to work out the mechanism, all the measurements, all the detail.
You've got to be Nick. And there's just not many of him.
He's got a very certain type of brain, I think, to be able to...
It's weird. His brain's weird. I'm happy to tell him that as often as I possibly can. But you have to have that engineering moment that Nick's got in just spades, and
that we all benefit from, which is great.
His little squirrely brain. Also, pretty decent human as well, I've got to say.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we can find some faults in him. We'll try.
We'll search.
We probably shouldn't do that. Just saying. Lord only knows what we'll dig up. Right, you've got your edge here. So my feet are there, opposite end. Hold your feet. So the way I do it, pinch between finger and next finger. Get that with my thumb, so I'm in control. I am in control of it. And I'm just going to place this down, and I'm putting it directly opposite, making sure that I've got it with those tabs so I can make it work. Make sure that's sitting up.
Eileen Gill-Martin, Taz says, Taz, I've just had a eureka moment too. Yep, she's got it. Absolutely, just clicked. Mr. Love is watching us. Morning,
Hello,
Andy.
hello, hello. So that then works. So now I've got this kind of scissor mechanism. All right?
Yep.
It still won't work as a runner at this point because we're not finished in that process. What we now have to do is get these tabs through this bit. When is Dean on? I've got to tell you, this is going to be your most awkward moment. And it's the bit that's probably the fiddliest. If there's a fiddly bit, this is it. The rest of it's easy. So you're all where I am at this point. Once you're rewatching this, we've all got our pieces where they are. What you're going to do is just put these tabs through. Is it difficult? No. Is it fiddly? Yes. Yeah. Are you probably going to use some cursey words? It's very, very possible.
I've got a construction sort of brain. I love making something out of basically a plain sheet of card. And that's where this really kind of ticks the box for me. It's fantastic.
Right, let's place this in. Got it here.
Yeah.
So it's not difficult.
Just a little bit fiddly.
Well, you're just piecing a piece of construction together, aren't you? So it's going to have its elements. And then the last one. Going through this side, push, and out it comes. So it's as difficult as that. It's not difficult at all. It's just...
I mean, you're a crafter because you love the process, and this is part of the process.
Make sure you've got them. Make sure you've got them pinched. And then what we're going to do, take this red liner tape off. Now, I am going to say while I'm here as a caveat to this, the lid has also got your little 3 slots. You could put this through both the bottom and the top. If you do, all credit to you, and Lord, why are you a glutton for punishment? That's the question I'm asking you. So I'm just going to grab these, pull this in.
So really, in addition to this, all you'll need is red liner tape, really, to actually fix this and put it together, which
and
I'm
a
sure
pluggy
we've all
bag.
got.
You need a pluggy
And
bag.
on the plastic bags, absolutely, sandwich bags. And the strip has to be at least double the length of the frame so that it meets at the back.
Right, we're nearly there, guys. Last one on here, and then we've nearly finished the card. As such. So, look at this. Bayek.
And to be fair, doing it on TV is not the easiest thing. Doing it at home would be a lot easier.
I had got down to where I could make these in about 5 minutes, 4 minutes without even thinking about it, but it's more difficult on air, and plus, as I say, the temperature is affecting the glue. Right, so I'm just going to fold this back. This is now my top piece. Remember, we've now used 4 out of our 5 elements. We're now using the last piece in this. If you score these in advance, it's got a score line on it, but if you score it yourself, you'll find that it's just much easier to fold them down. Burnish it pretty well. Open it. Now there is a tab button as well. I will say there is a little tab, but you can put that on afterwards. You've seen it when we've been watching the, here look, where you've got the little pull.
Yep.
There is that, but it just sticks on. It's just an addition. You don't have to use it. It's just there. Now for this red liner tape, I'm going to use, you can use wet glue. I'm just going in now for speed because I think you've been listening to me waffle long enough.
And if you want red liner tape, that'll be on our website as well. The everyday glue's on the website.
All of the things.
Perfect papers. It's all
so,
there.
1, 2.
Jacqueline Ward said I didn't need this, but man alive, it's just fallen into my bag. It did take some time, but it's worth it. Absolutely worth it, Jacqueline.
Don't you hate it when that happens, Jacqueline, and it just happens. Mary Cook says, I'm the most khaki-handed person going, this will be a challenge for me. No, you are not, Mary Cook. I am much worse than you are. Believe me, if I can break it, bend it, do something I shouldn't do, I'll be the one to do it. You will have no problems.
I kind of, yeah, back you up on that.
Literally, I have got no sense of balance, space, time, anything. So, yes, I really wouldn't I wouldn't worry. I'm probably making it look way more difficult than it actually
Whenever I
is.
see a post on Facebook from Carla, I think, uh-oh, what's she done now?
So when I said to my dad I'd bought a chainsaw, and he was like, oh, and he rang me, and he's like, I don't give you permission, and if you do it, you're grounded. I'm like, Dad, I'm 48. I don't think you can ground me. I can.
Who knows what you're like, though?
Right, I'm just placing that over here, and then onto the bottom piece, covering up my workings. Okay, place that on, including my fingers. I know, just a nightmare from beginning to end. And that gives me my mechanism.
There we go, look. How ingenious is that? Isn't that just brilliant? I mean, you'll do it probably once you've made the first one, you'll probably do it in about, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, once you get into the hang of it?
So the first time I did, well, listen, I watched it being made, and I was like, how am I going to demonstrate that onto, how? So then I was like, Carla, you need a moment with it and just sit and work it out. And I messaged Nick straight afterwards, and I went, did it first attempt. Here it is, it works, it's brilliant. But in my head, when I was looking at it, I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. It's a process of steps. The steps aren't difficult. The steps are easy. It's just you've got a set of steps to go to. We started this demo 20 minutes ago. It's taken me 20 minutes to demo it on telly. When I was making them at home, it was taking me 5 minutes, because when you're in your own home environment, I'm not trying to show you how to do it in my own home environment. I'm just playing. So you'll find that your first one you make is probably going to take you about 15 minutes, because you're going to have to stop this and start and stop and start. If you go to YouTube, and when you go onto YouTube and you're watching this on YouTube, there's a little cog just at the bottom of the screen. When you hit that cog, one of the options is playback speed, and you can choose to go really fast, or you can choose to go really, really slow. Take it to its slowest point, if that helps, so you can literally craft it with me, and I will at that point be holding your hand step by step by step.
The thing is, as a crafter, you don't want to do the same thing all the time. You want to do things that are different, that are a bit challenging, that are exciting and are new. And that's what this is all about. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's been such a great success. Before we came on air at 9 o'clock this morning, half the stock went on that little Facebook preview that Carla did last night. Now, I'm not sure where we are at the moment. We'll update you at 11 o'clock as to how quick it's going. But we've got literally hundreds of you on Facebook and YouTube watching us at the moment, because you can do this. Fiona Abbott made this one. That mechanism that you just saw Carla put together in plain white cardstock can become this.
It's crazy clever.
How
Crazy
amazing
clever.
is that?
Lots of people giving a big shout out to Mark for helping them when things have gone and there may have been a double order, and also for the fact that he has helped people out with perfect papers. And I will say, I'm going to start demoing on some bits on this, so I'm not going to leave you hanging, but big shout out to Mark, actually, because the guy's a genius. He is one of the loveliest humans, and he doesn't get the credit because we give it all to Nick, because Nick obviously brings us these things. But Mark is what actually keeps Carnation ticking, and he's so good, and he's got really strong values and amazing integrity. I love the bloke. I love both of them. I think they're amazing. Shout out to both of them,
So
and
say
to the
all of
rest
us.
of the team.
Absolutely.
Because Mark's just as valid and just as important as well. So huge
Big up
kudos.
to you, Carla, as well, because Jacqueline, who said that she didn't think she was going to get this, but it's fallen into her bag, she said, it's down to you, Carla. You're just too good at demonstrating and making my brain have strange feelings.
She does it to me as well, with anything.
Does she give your brain strange feelings?
Well, but she'll have something and it makes me want to buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's what it's all about. It's showing you what you can do, showing you the potential of something. And that's why I love working for Carnation, because I never know what's next. There's always something that makes me go, oh, wow. You know, it excites me. So if you want this today, the Wonderful World Collection, 230701, let me just give you a reminder of the details for it. This die set in the centre here is what makes that amazing mechanism, okay? Oh, 60% now of the entire stock has gone live at
last.
10 to 10. I'll update you more at 11 o'clock, but 60% has gone. It's one of the most affordable collections I think we've done in a very, very long time. I couldn't believe that everything on the top shelf here is only $71.99. So you've got the mechanism to make the movement, to make the animation. You've then got the scenery, you've got the trees, you've got the bench, you've got the dog, the cat, everything else. And of course, then you've got the bikes, the cars, the buses, the trains, trains, the planes, even the hot air balloons, all of that you can decorate and make that wonderful scene. So instantly you're taking care of maybe the teenagers cards, which are tricky ones to do. You're taking care of maybe other halves cards or masculine cards, but also feminine cards too. This is for everyone. Everyone's got a pastime, everyone's got something that they love watching. Like my dad, for example, loves watching the Tour de France. So a cycling card would be perfect for him. Yes, Taz?
Just to let them know, 60% of the Skyline's gone too.
Oh, okay. Skyline, 60% gone as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of you are going for both probably. It's kind of neck and neck. Now the Skyline, obviously the tall Skyline, you'd have to kind of chop down to fit into the panorama Life in Motion card shape. But you can put those buildings in the background as well, which I've got a few here actually. This one here has been done by Sue Dalrymple. Sue, fantastic card. You've got the buildings there in the background. Let me just see what you've done with yours. Pull it. Oh, look, the car appears from behind the houses. How cool is that?
So clever.
That could be someone's first car card, first house card, moving in together for the very first time. I'll just see a few more. I mean, this is more of a conventional card, so don't think it's just all about the animation. I mean, this one, as you can see from Pam Simpson, again, has got the buildings, the smaller buildings in the background, and then we've got the motorbike, the hot air balloon, the bike on the front, and the bike with the shopping basket on the front behind as well. And the words adventure awaits on there. And this one's more conventional. This is like an 8x8 card. Barbara Treadwell's done this. So you don't have to make them as animated cards all the time. They're standalone, beautiful cards as well. So the Wonderful World collection is 230701. Now remember, it's going to be $79.99 unless you use the discount code. Now you've got to do that. Everyone's got access to it. We're going to put it on the screen. There it is. It's CCWW10. That will give you 10% off that $79.99 down to £71.99. If you want to split the payments, you can use PayPal Pay in 3. You can also use ClearPay as well if you'd like to. And if you want to go for everything, including the Skyline and the Perfect Papers, 48 A4 sheets of 300 GSM, it comes to a really affordable $114.88. And that, of course, is available on ClearPay and PayPal Pay in 3 as well. But you can cherry pick what you want if you want to. And remember, the vignettes normally are available on the day of this being available, but it's going to be tomorrow. What we found is in the past, there's usually, well, there is a massive surge, people wanting the kit. And if you go on the website and try and get the vignettes at the same time, sometimes the servers can get a little bit overloaded. So we'll issue the artwork, the vignettes tomorrow. So you can download those and print those off tomorrow after you've placed your orders for the actual collection today. It just makes it a smoother experience for absolutely everybody. That's the most important thing. And of course, if you place your order now, the packers and the pickers at Carnation Crafts will be taking it off the shelf, putting it in the envelope and popping it in the post today. You probably can get it tomorrow in many cases, which is amazing.
Right, can I steal you all for a couple more minutes? I'm not going to be able to do the full card, but I want to show you how then we create a scene. And I'll be very quick, but I don't want you to leave with just the card shape. We're here for demo, and I want you to be able to see that. So one of the things that comes with this card shape are these little tabs that I showed you when we were doing the boards. And they're designed so that you can place them onto aspects that you're using within the card itself. Now, I've stuck my green trees there, I've got my layer on top, and I've put my little pull tab here. Now normally I would put that underneath, but I wanted you to be able to see it just in all its glory. Now I've got these here. Now if you're not canny enough, some things can catch on your mechanism as they're going inside. These tabs help to kind of prevent that. Now what I've discovered when I've been doing it, my best way of doing these is to just add some wet glue, way too much on that one. And I'm just going to put a little bit just on the back of this card, just right on the squidgy bit there. What I'm going to do is raise this, put those tabs underneath so that they're hidden. And so that I've just got that little bit of glue on that card. Now what that's going to do is secure it. So as I go in, the car goes through, but it doesn't catch on any mechanism. Those tabs are a little lifeline, and they're so wonderful to do. Now just to show you in this collection as well, we've also got these gorgeous little corners. Now like I say, I can't do this full demo. The next show that we do, it is at 11, once we've all just had a break, will be a full demo on different things and different card shapes. So I promise you it's not all going to be about construction, but it was really important to me personally that I showed you this step by step. I want you to have all of the resources that you need when you get this home to immediately sit and craft.
So show 2 will be more decoration and composition
See how
ideas.
look how pretty that is. These elements that come forward. So this wee girl, we're going to take her and put the glue just on the front of those tabs, and I can work out where to put her, what's going to give me my best point. And I think I'm going to place her here and just tuck that in, so that she is tucked. Now, I have found with this one, if you're not canny, this basket can catch. So what you can do to aid these little pieces is either put 2 together, or if you choose, you can just strengthen it with maybe a little bit of acetate or something behind so it wouldn't catch. It's not actually a massive problem, it's just every now and again. So this goes in just like so, and then it slides back out again. Now something is catches because that's come apart there. Use red liner tape and make sure it's not hot, because mine is just melting. But you'll see as they go through, my 2 legs at this point at the back are just sticking. You see? Now this will not happen to you because your adhesive isn't going to be melting in the heat. So I just need to show you that. But those tabs are super, super important. Now we've got extra elements. This piece, so this is your top. This next piece is the line underneath it. This piece is the line underneath that, and this piece is the back. Now one thing you can do with this, which is really epic, is to have a sentiment that sits right at the back. On the next one, if you put in a car, something along those lines, and then the 3rd layer you would put in, say, the bus, then you decorate the front of it. The bus is so big that it covers the whole space. So as you pull, you reveal everything that's underneath. You could write secret messages, you could do a gender reveal, you can do loads of things with that to have that beautiful shape line come through and reveal something on the back of it. I will say, please don't make this card when you're sitting in 50-degree heat. Everything will melt.
Including us.
Including red liner tape. Who knew? Who knew that red liner tape could melt quite so easily? But it does. But you saw it obviously working beforehand.
Carla, Eileen says, I take it that the panels are decorated before the card is assembled?
No, you don't have to. The only thing I'll say to you is, as far as... you can decorate it as it is now. The only thing I'll say, if you want to use like the filigree or coloured cardstock on the archway panels, so these 2 pieces, do that in advance.
Right.
So I've obviously got white on white here, which you know I love. Don't use foam tape of any description. You can't have height in that mechanism. It has to be flat. If you're going to do that, I would put those archways on first. Now I really am going to ruin the card. If I pull this out completely, right to the end, it's only going to pull so far because it's stuck with red liner tape to the piece of plastic inside. Can't go any further. Now if you look, hold on, I'm going to bend the card, sorry guys, but I don't need this for later. But if you look down the mechanism, all right, you can see where my legs are here. Now, if I was to put my, try and put on both pieces my archway with my layers on here, I'm going to struggle with that. So sorry that was blurry, obviously I can't get any closer than that. And it's just the way it works, it's just the way it is. You've got to do that in advance and then it goes through. For some reason I've got something that is just locking on this bottom piece, and it's where the glue is.
I tell you what though, you're going to have so much fun putting this together, so much fun building those scenes. And remember, if you order it now, it'll be on its way straight away. It's 230701 if you just want the main collection, $71.99. It's $27.99 if you want the fantastic Skyline collection down the bottom, and it's $14.99 if you want the perfect papers. So if you want it all, it's $114.88 free P&P because you're spending over £50 with us, of course. If you're watching us in the USA, your delivery will be $5.95. Is that right? $5.95. $4.95.
Cheaper than you thought, Dave.
Absolutely, $4.95. And if you buy the perfect papers, it goes up to $14.95 for your delivery if you're watching it in America. Whatever you do, join us back at 11 o'clock. We've done the construction. We'll do another one of those a bit later on at 1. But next show will be all about decoration and composition, putting the scenes together. So join us for 11 o'clock if you can. See you a bit later on.